Levi and Anna are both top snipers in the world, able to easily take out targets from 3,000 meters away. Levi, who has been discharged from the army, suffers from PTSD after his experience with gunfire and wakes up every night with nightmares when he goes to sleep. With no family or friends, he kept a journal every time he woke up. One day, for years after his discharge, he received a call-up order from the army to re-enlist. The person who asked him to meet him was not an officer, but a competent woman who Levi guessed to be a high-ranking agent based on her age dress code and the colonel's submissive attitude towards him. And after a brief conversation, the woman hired him for a top-secret mission that entailed traveling to a dilapidated outpost tower guarding a nondescript canyon. Due to the classified nature of the mission, he was dropped off halfway to his destination, still 40 kilometers away. Just like that, after 3 days and 3 nights of trekking, Levi finally met the previous guard, Old Black, who had been waiting for a long time. Old Black was very happy to have someone to hand over to and led Levi around the place, which had almost all the facilities. Solar power, rainwater recycling system, and even next to the guardhouse, there was a modest vegetable garden for general amusement and even hunting nearby, and his daily task was very simple, to check and replenish all the fortifications on the west side of the canyon. Of course, at the same time, the east side of the canyon was also guarded by another soldier, only that the Alliance regulations prohibited personnel from contacting the towers on both sides, and even if there were no regulations, I'm afraid that it would be impossible to do so, partly because the canyon was covered with all sorts of landmines and obstacles from the south to the north, but on the other hand, because due to the interference from the satellite transmitters on the 2 sides of the canyon, all the signals and communications were all unusable. However, despite Old Black's detailed description, the first-timer Levi still had one question he couldn't figure out. That is, what exactly was the purpose of their guarding this place? Old Black, however, told him mysteriously. In order to let Levi understand more thoroughly, he took out a grenade and gently threw it into the canyon. After the explosion, a hissing sound suddenly came from the canyon, which made Levi very curious, and Old Black told him what was in the canyon. It turned out that in 1940, the Allied forces had sent 3 battalions to eradicate these monsters, and none of them were spared. Later, the Allies changed their strategy and built 2 sentry towers above the canyon to prevent these monsters from going underground. In other words, this canyon is the gateway to hell. And we are the guardians of hell. The next day, after all the handovers were completed, Blackie left the bunker with his luggage on his back, and Levi began his year-long career as a watchman. However, what he didn't know was that after being picked up by a high-class helicopter, Blackie had thought that what awaited him would be a carefree retirement from now on, but he didn't expect to be greeted by a merciless and cold bullet. Obviously, the company Severus works for must be hiding some untold secrets in the canyon. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, Levi still patrols the canyon rim every day, regularly checking various equipment. Being alone for a long time, the strong-willed Levi also began to feel bored. Not only was he less and less inspired to write in his diary, but even his daily glass of wine before bedtime made it impossible for him to fall asleep fast anymore. On this day, he was picking vegetables at the door when a sudden cacophony of noise came from over the canyon. Curious, he immediately returned to the sentry tower and looked through the binoculars, only to be shown a heart-thumping moment, not realizing that the guard on the other side was a sweet and incomparable-looking girl. This would be interesting. However, the Alliance regulations prohibited communication, but Li Wei did not have any non-existent thoughts and still continued his lonely life every day. Until this day, when he was in the middle of writing a poem, he suddenly heard a gunshot coming from the opposite side. With a dumbfounded face, he immediately looked towards the opposite side, and then realized that the girl actually took the initiative to use a cardboard to send a message to him. He immediately signaled the other party to wait a moment, and then hurriedly picked up his drawing board. I didn't expect to then write a sentence that there is no hurry to prohibit passage. Looking at Levi's reply, the girl was puzzled. Usually it is men who lick me, how can I put up with it this time? And then she used the cardboard to tell Levi that her name was Anna, and that today was her birthday, so she could do whatever she wanted to do. Levi smiled, since the hospitality was overwhelming. He also raised his glass to wish Anna across the street a happy birthday. So the two began to browbeat each other across the cardboard across a canyon several hundred meters wide. Excited Anna asked Levi to give her a dance to cheer up. The big old man said, "I do not know." Anna then asked, "What do you know?" Levi immediately replied that he was a good shot. "Anya, see, this will be the bottle of wine on the railing," said "Good shot to me to see." Levi laughed and said, "You're kidding." Said he was about to turn around and leave. But I did not expect that in the next second, Anna came to shoot a shot on Levi's wine bottle. See Anna provocation. He also picked up the gun toward the opposite side of the bottle as a shot. Anna saw the clap. Obviously Anna has not played enough. Immediately after that, he picked up another wine bottle and put it on his head, signaling Levi to have the guts to continue. Who knew that Levi had not yet had time to shoot? The next second, she actually suddenly put down the bottle, turned off all the speakers, signaling Levi to hurry and observe the canyon below. Apparently, those hollow people are finally going to appear. Levi followed Anna's gesture and looked downwards. Through the scope he noticed something unusual. Something was climbing upwards. What is even more creepy is that these creatures actually have human faces. Levi shot without saying a word, just detonated the bomb below. He hurriedly dodged backward, and then realized that those crawling creatures are probably the hollow men mentioned by Old Black, Anna also quickly reacted, copied the heavy weapon towards the hollow men below to start a frantic strafing. After a round of fierce fire, the hollow men were temporarily repelled. The night returned to calm, but at this time Anna heard a subtle ringing coming from under her feet. An ominous feeling of foreboding welled up in her heart. Sure enough, the sudden hollow man has climbed up the sentry tower. Anna was startled at the sight, and then quickly pulled out a pistol to repel it, but the falling hollow man. In the tumbling hit the explosives, violent explosion sound, a piece of debris hit Anna. Levi saw the situation, immediately set up a heavy machine gun towards the opposite bank of the hollow man to launch a fierce strafing dense ammunition, not only hit the opposite bank, but also blocked the enemy under his feet. Anna soon came back to her senses and fired her machine gun frantically, countless bullets interweaving between the canyons, knocking down the hollow men that were climbing upwards one by one. Just then, one of the hollow men touched the infrared light. In a few moments, all the Gatling guns in the surrounding area were activated, and their firepower was instantly raised to the extreme, with bullets raining down in the canyon. The battle lasted for a long time, until Levi saw the opposite side of the Anna safety send a message and said that this is how unforgettable a birthday. He finally revealed a smile of relief. Due to the intense battle at night the next day, early in the morning Levi began to grasp to repair the explosives on the cliff wall. Suddenly a flying device from the depths of the canyon rose up and stopped in front of Levi, next to the Gatling, although it detected the target but quickly retracted the muzzle of the gun. When Levi turned his head, the flying device had already disappeared. Time flew by and soon it was December. During this period of time, Levi and Anna, every day to maintain communication in the air, wait until the snowy season. They even in front of their respective sentry towers piled up a snowman. In this special way to celebrate Christmas, however, to the February of a day, Anna suddenly held up a piece of written words on the sign on the Levi, pouring out her sadness. It turns out that today is the anniversary of her father's death, and she tells Levi that she is very sad and expresses how much she wishes that Levi could be by his side. Although Levi didn't respond immediately, he stayed up all night. The next day Levi came to the warehouse to take out a rocket. After a simple modification, he pushed a bundle of ropes to the outside. Anna saw Levi on the sentry tower to tinker with something, until she saw him set up the rocket launcher with ropes, instantly understood his plan. Soon Levi pulled the trigger. The rocket with ropes cut through the air across the wide canyon accurately flew to the opposite bank. Anna ran down in a heartbeat and secured the rope firmly to a large tree. When he returned to the sentry tower and looked through the binoculars across the river, he saw Levi holding up a silver screen that read, "Can we have dinner tonight?" Anna took a deep breath, and her heartbeat couldn't help but speed up as Levi shaved the stray whiskers from his face, picked some wildflowers with his hands, then tied the rope and sprinted forward at a fast run. But he stopped midway because the canyon was so wide. All of a sudden, there was a burst of eerie howling from the depths of the canyon. Levi could only hold on to the rope, and finally reached the other side of the river. Anna joyfully ran up. The two sat on the sentry platform while drinking, chatting, together through an unforgettable night. But when the next day Levi was ready to go back, but there was an accident. The hollow man tried to break through again, but accidentally triggered a system-controlled hover bomb, and the iron fragments from the explosion cut the rope, causing Levi to fall from a high place. Anna saw the situation and took the equipment, without the slightest hesitation, to jump into the canyon, when the heroine of this jump, interpretation of what is love. She quickly opened the parachute, but found that the fog below is turning from white to a strange yellow. And when she passed through the fog only to find that the bottom is actually a turbulent river, and when she wanted to slow down has been too late, was carried by the current and constantly hit the surrounding rocks, resulting in the fall of the electric tractor. In a panic to cut the parachute cord, rely on the branches of the bank to stop by grasping. At the same time, Levi is hanging upside down in a tree unconscious. The silence around the environment is chilling. In a daze, he felt something approaching. When he opened his eyes to look above a huge bug into the eyes, Levi rushed to use a weapon to repel it, and then cut the rope fell heavily to the ground. Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, he realized that he was firmly stuck by something similar to glue, and he couldn't move even if he exerted all his strength. However, what was even more frightening was that countless sharp white thorns suddenly appeared around him. As if they were alive, they were wrapping up his entire body little by little. He was about to die in the next moment. A gunshot suddenly rang out. It turned out to be Anna, who arrived in time and used her weapon to smash those bone spikes, and helped Levi cut off the sticky material on his body. The two decided to go through the fog and head to the east wall to look for an escape zip line, but only a few steps out, the fog around them suddenly became weird. The two were alert and on guard, only to see that there seemed to be something in the smoke that was moving quickly. In an instant, a figure on horseback suddenly rushed out. Anna was knocked down by a fast horse, and Levi was also knocked down by another